I just wanted to spend some time with you to bring you the State of the City address and just give you some information that we have going on. Matter of fact, we've got so much going on that I wanted to cover, if I can, that I had to make a note card here just to be able to remember it all. One thing I'd like to start out with are TIFs, tax increment financing. We have developments that are going on and will soon begin within the city of Bethany that we wanted to make you aware of in case you're not already. On our Route 66 West Gateway entrance into our city, historically there's been a piece of property on the north side of Route 66 owned by the family known as the McFarlands. It has recently been put under contract with a developer, all 46 acres, and it is to be a tax increment financing district, retail on the frontage of Route 66 and residential on the backside. The same developer has just gone into contract on the property just south of Route 66. That was our city's very first attempt at a TIF, tax increment financing, on a water side. And that did not come together as expected. And he has since gone in contract and is purchasing that property as well, and will be bringing that in addition to the McFarland property into possibly one TIF. The TIF review committee is being formed that will begin to look at the development plans that have been being put together and continuing to be put together. Eventually they will be meeting to look that over and do their due diligence to look into approving this TIF. So that is exciting news just for that area of our city. Also, many of you have heard of the revitalization efforts of Route 66 that we have going on right now, and that we have 3 other cities, including us, that have come together to unify to try to make an 11-mile stretch of Route 66 revitalized and thriving, and that is Yukon, War Acres, Oklahoma City, and ourselves. We meet every month and we go over plans and dreams and ideas. Last month we had the Lieutenant Governor join us, so that was exciting. He is very interested in this project, as well as, from what he tells us, the new elected governor, Governor Stitt. And so there are exciting times ahead of us with a lot of things that we have going on. I want to talk about 23rd Street. Many of you know that 2 years ago I cast the vision to try to revitalize 23rd Street, and we've never slowed on that. There's a lot of legwork that goes in on that before you start seeing progress and things unfold, but there are people taking notice. Just this morning I sent an email to OG&E requesting information on what it would take to re-engineer the lighting on 23rd Street. There is not enough lighting. It is too dark on 23rd Street. And with the revitalization efforts, there's going to be a need for new street lights and poles and all of that. And so it needs to be re-engineered according to OG&E, so they are beginning to look into that and what it would take. We have interest in several areas of 23rd Street. I've met with different businesses and companies that have an interest of relocating from outside of Bethany into Bethany, specifically on 23rd Street. There's interest from a couple different companies in the Western Oaks Tower that they would like to acquire that and move their businesses there. There are a lot of legwork and a lot of effort goes into this on city staff, and so we will see when all these things start to become public knowledge and we can begin to announce specifics and how all this is going to transpire. We have a group of businessmen that recently purchased the old AT&T building, which is located on 23rd Street, just east of Rockwell, and they are calling that the IntelliCenter, where their goal is to bring in a company or companies that could use that facility as a call center or something of that nature, and I am told that it could actually bring 300 to 900 employees, which would be fantastic to the city of Bethany. Also recently, the council approved an incentivization to 7-Eleven. Many of you know that 23rd Street, 23rd and Council on the north side of 23rd Street, that the 7-Eleven Corporation had purchased that corner quite some time ago, and recently we approved some incentivization type of plans that they have accepted, and the rumor is that they potentially could be opening up a 5,000 square foot 7-Eleven with 3 other retail spaces attached to it by the end of the year. And so there are exciting times ahead of us. The library completion. The library has been under construction for quite some time. There have been some challenges, but I believe that ultimately it is going to be done right, even though it takes a little longer to do things right. And so late spring, early summer, the library is projected to be completed. Some of you have seen the playground. I believe the library park and playground will be absolutely one of the best things going in Bethany. The playground is an all-inclusive playground equipment for able-bodied children with handicaps to be able to play together side by side, and there's not a lot of those type of playgrounds around, so that will be bringing people not only out to enjoy that live in Bethany, but there will be many people coming to Bethany specifically so that their children have a playground that they can play on, and I'm seriously excited about that. Many of you remember 2 years ago when I was campaigning that sidewalks. We talked about walkability, and there hasn't been a whole lot of activity on sidewalks from what we can tell, as far as pouring of concrete, a little bit, but not a whole lot. And quite honestly, that's because of some internal personnel situations that caused us to have to kind of pull back on some of those plans. However, there is a plan that not a lot of people know about, and it is a phased plan that we will be putting on the table for the new council when they are seated in their seats to begin to look at, so that we can begin to move forward on these plans to begin connecting sidewalks and pouring new sidewalks and creating walkability so our citizens can get around. And so I'm seriously excited about that. Also, I mentioned the council seats that will be coming up. All 4 seats are up for re-election except for 1 did not draw an opponent, and so they automatically will be on the horseshoe with the new council. So essentially half of our council potentially can be new. And so it is vitally important that you go out and exercise your right to vote. The election is February 12th, and it is important for you to really think about who you're voting for, because we have been trying to build a team, as far as the council team, to work hand in hand with city staff so that we can move the city forward on your behalf. And so I believe it's important that that council team is willing to work together, even though we won't always agree. There will be times we will have to agree to disagree, and for any way possible to begin to move forward and make the best decisions for our citizens. So please go out on February 12th and vote for your candidate within your ward that you live in. Also on that ballot will be charter proposals that we are asking the citizens to look at and seriously consider voting so that we can possibly make some charter changes. This is your vote. You have the voice in making charter changes, and the city charter is like the constitution for the city of Bethany. It is the law. It is the thing that creates the boundaries, and there are some things that a charter review committee that met for about 16 or 17 months decided things that needed to be addressed by the citizens to potentially change, and what that could mean for our city moving forward. I believe these things are going to help our city move forward, so please read those, look at those, take them seriously. There are 5 items on that ballot that we are asking you to look at. And so again, I believe our greatest days are ahead of us. Monday night, February 11th at 6 p.m., there is a special night that is going to be a charter review that you can watch on Facebook Live. Again, our greatest days are ahead of us. There are a lot of things going on in the city of Bethany that are exciting. We promised that we would do all that we can to try to move the city forward into our greatest days, and I know that asks a lot of our citizens, because many of us know that we want things to change, but then when things require us to change, it gets uncomfortable. We recently rolled out a new sanitation system that we got new trash cans and these larger poly carts. And some people don't like it yet, but if you give it some time and let's see how you like it in a month or two. I really believe these changes, even though it asks a lot of us, because none of us really enjoy changing things, but in order to get to our greatest days, I really believe that there are things that we need to change. Also, we have something that we started last month, the first Thursday of every month. We are going to be doing a Bethany breakfast. It will move around to different locations throughout the city. And this next one is at the International Pinto Horse Association. It is going to be, like I said, the first Thursday of the month, so just a couple weeks from now, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. The program really goes from 8 to 9. It's a time of fellowship with breakfast munchies and coffee and juice, and a time to hear from city officials and myself, other elected officials, what's going on in the city, and ask your questions, and hopefully we can give you some answers. So that is coming up. So again, we appreciate your involvement, we appreciate your support, we appreciate your encouragement, and we seriously appreciate that there are many of you willing to make the necessary changes to make Bethany as great as it could possibly be. God bless you and have a great day. Bethany is the greatest place to be. God bless you.